My friends, I need you to stop what you're doing right now because what I'm about to share with you could directly affect the money hitting your bank account this Friday. And I don't want a single one of you to miss out on what's coming your way. I know how stressful it can be waiting for that deposit, especially right after the holidays when so many of us have stretched our budgets to make Christmas special for our families. You've worked your entire life, paid into this system, and you deserve to know exactly when your money is coming and how much you can expect to see. I'm sitting here today because I've been getting hundreds of messages from seniors just like you, asking about Friday's deposit schedule, wondering if the Christmas holiday has changed anything, and concerned about whether their payments will arrive on time. Let me tell you something from my heart to yours. I understand that anxiety because these payments aren't just numbers on a screen. They're how you pay for your medications, keep the heat on in your home, put food on your table, and maintain the dignity you've earned through decades of hard work. The Social Security Administration doesn't always make things crystal clear, and sometimes it feels like you need a law degree just to understand when your money's coming. But that's exactly why I'm here today. I'm going to walk you through everything happening this Friday with your Social Security, SSI, and SSDI payments, and I promise you, by the end of our time together, you're going to know exactly what to expect, when to expect it, and what you need to do to make sure you get every single dollar you're entitled to. Now, let me start by addressing the elephant in the room that's probably been keeping some of you up at night. Yes, Christmas fell on a Wednesday this year, and whenever we have a federal holiday landing in the middle of the week, it creates questions about payment schedules. Here's what you need to understand. The Social Security Administration operates on a very specific calendar, and they've already adjusted the schedule to account for the Christmas holiday. If you're receiving Social Security retirement benefits and your birthday falls between the 21st and the 31st of any month, Friday, December 27th is your regular payment day. That hasn't changed. Your money is coming, and it's coming right on schedule. The SSA doesn't skip payments because of holidays. They simply adjust the timing to make sure you're never left waiting longer than you should be. This Friday's deposit is part of the normal monthly cycle, and if you've been receiving your benefits on the fourth Wednesday of every month, you can breathe easy knowing that pattern continues. But here's where things get really interesting, and I want to make sure everyone understands this clearly. For those of you receiving SSI, supplemental security income, your situation is a little different, and this is important. SSI payments normally go out on the first of every month, but when the first falls on a weekend or holiday, the payment comes early. You already received your January SSI payment early, likely before Christmas, because January 1st is a holiday. Now, if you're receiving both SSI and Social Security retirement or disability, you're getting two separate payments, and they come on different days. I can't tell you how many people get confused about this, thinking they're missing money when really they're just looking at two different payment streams. Your SSI came early for January, and your Social Security is coming this Friday if you're in that fourth week group. Make sure you're checking your bank account for both deposits and not assuming something's wrong just because you see one and not the other right away. Let me talk specifically to my SSDI friends for a moment, because I know there's been some confusion in the disability community about Friday's payments. If you're receiving Social Security disability insurance, your payment schedule follows the same birthday rule as regular Social Security retirement benefits. That means if your birthday is between the 21st and the 31st, you're getting paid this Friday, December 27th. However, and this is crucial, if you started receiving disability benefits before May 1997, you're on a different schedule entirely. You get paid on the 3rd of every month, regardless of your birthday, which means your next payment is coming on January 3rd, not this Friday. I know it seems complicated, and honestly, it shouldn't be this confusing, but this is the system we have, and understanding it means you won't panic when you don't see money you weren't expecting on a particular day. Now, let's talk about the amounts you're seeing hit your accounts, because this is where I've been getting a lot of questions. With the 2025 COLA increase that just kicked in this January, many of you are seeing larger deposits than you saw in December. The cost of living adjustment this year is 3.2%, which means if you were getting $2,000 a month in December, you're now seeing about $2,064 in January. I know that might not sound like a fortune, but over the course of a year, that's an extra $768 in your pocket. Every little bit counts, especially when we're dealing with inflation that's still making everything from groceries to gas more expensive than it was a few years ago. This Friday's payment should reflect that new COLA increase, and I want you to check your deposit carefully to make sure you're getting the correct amount. Here's something that not enough people are talking about, and I think it's absolutely critical. Medicare Part B premiums also changed in January, and for many of you, those premiums are automatically deducted from your Social Security check. The standard Part B premium went up to $185 a month for 2025, which is an increase of about $10 from last year. Now, here's the math you need to understand. Yes, you got a 3.2% COLA increase, but if your Medicare premium went up, that cuts into your raise. If you were getting $2,000 and your COLA gave you $64 extra, but your Medicare premium went up $10, your actual increase is only $54. I'm not telling you this to discourage you. I'm telling you this because I want you to understand exactly what's happening with your money. The Social Security Administration isn't trying to trick you, but these automatic deductions can make it feel like your COLA increase disappeared, and I want you to know where every dollar is going. Let me share something really important that affects some of you, especially those who went back to work part-time or have other income. If you're below your full retirement age and you're still working while collecting Social Security, there's an earnings limit you need to be aware of. In 2025, that limit is $23,400. If you earn more than that from working, Social Security will withhold $1 in benefits for every $2 you earn above the limit. This is called the earnings test, and it catches a lot of people by surprise. Now, here's the good news. Once you reach your full retirement age, this limit disappears completely, and you can earn as much as you want without any reduction in benefits. But if you're 62, 63, 64, or even 66, depending on your birth year, you need to be tracking your earnings carefully. If you went over that limit last year, you might see a smaller payment this Friday. And it's not a mistake. It's the SSA adjusting based on your income. They'll send you a letter explaining any withholding, but I want you to understand what's happening before you panic. For my friends who are veterans and receiving both VA benefits and Social Security, I want to make sure you understand how these payments work together. Your VA disability compensation and your Social Security benefits are two completely separate systems, and you can receive both without one affecting the other. That's important because I've heard from veterans who thought their Social Security would be reduced because they're getting VA money, and that's simply not true. However, if you're receiving VA pension, which is different from VA disability compensation, there can be some interaction with SSI benefits. VA pension is needs-based, and if you're also getting SSI, the two programs might affect each other because they're both designed for people with limited income. But regular VA disability compensation and Social Security retirement, or SSDI, work together just fine, and you should be receiving both deposits on their regular schedules. Let me give you a real-life example of how this Friday's payment might look for someone in a typical situation, because I think examples help more than just throwing numbers around. Let's say you're 70 years old, you worked your whole life, and you retired at your full retirement age. Your base Social Security benefit before the COLA was $1,800 a month. With the 3.2% increase, you're now getting $1,858. Your Medicare Part B premium is $185, which gets deducted automatically, leaving you with $1,673 hitting your bank account this Friday. That's your net payment, and that's what you should see when you check your account. If you see a different number, there might be other deductions like Medicare Part D premiums for your prescription drug coverage, or maybe you have taxes withheld voluntarily, or there could be a garnishment for something like unpaid child support or federal debts. I'm not saying any of that applies to you, but these are the reasons people sometimes see different amounts than they expected. Speaking of taxes, and I know this isn't anyone's favorite topic, but we need to talk about it for just a minute. Up to 85% of your Social Security benefits can be taxable, depending on your total income. If your combined income, which includes your adjusted gross income plus non-taxable interest plus half of your Social Security benefits, is more than $25,000 for an individual or $32,000 for a married couple, some of your benefits become taxable. Now, you don't have to pay taxes directly out of your Social Security check unless you ask them to withhold it. You can fill out Form W-4V and have federal taxes taken out at 7, 10, 12, or 22%. Some people prefer this because they don't want to get hit with a big tax bill in April, while others would rather handle it themselves when they file. There's no right or wrong answer. It's just about what works better for your personal situation. But if you haven't thought about this, and you have other income coming in from pensions, retirement accounts, or part-time work, you might want to talk to a tax professional about whether you should be setting aside some money for taxes. Now, let me talk about something that can really maximize your benefits, and not enough people take advantage of this. If you're married and both you and your spouse worked and paid into Social Security, you might be eligible for spousal benefits. Here's how it works. You can receive up to 50% of your spouse's benefit amount if that's higher than your own benefit. Let's say your own retirement benefit is $1,000, but your spouse's is $3,000. You could potentially receive $1,500 as a spousal benefit instead of just your $1,000 benefit. The catch is you both have to have filed for benefits, and you have to be at least 62 years old, though if you wait until your full retirement age, you'll get the maximum spousal benefit. This is also true for divorced spouses if you were married for at least 10 years and you haven't remarried. I bring this up because I've talked to so many people who didn't realize they were leaving money on the table by not claiming spousal benefits when they were eligible. For those of you on SSDI who are approaching retirement age, there's something you need to know that could affect your planning. When you reach your full retirement age, your SSDI automatically converts to regular retirement benefits. The amount stays the same. It's just a different category in the Social Security system. This conversion happens automatically. You don't have to do anything, but you should receive a notice from the SSA explaining the change. The reason I mention this is because some people get confused when they see different terminology on their paperwork, thinking something went wrong with their benefits. Nothing went wrong. It's just the normal process. Your Friday payment this week is coming exactly as it should, whether it's still labeled as SSDI or has converted to retirement benefits. Here's something I want to emphasize for everyone listening today, especially in light of Friday's deposit. If you haven't already, you need to set up your My Social Security account on the SSA website. This is your personal portal where you can see your payment history, check your benefit amount, get your tax documents, update your direct deposit information, and so much more. I can't stress enough how valuable this is, particularly if you ever have questions about your payments or need to verify information. You can see exactly when your payments are scheduled, what's being deducted, and if there are any issues with your account. It takes about 15 minutes to set up, and you'll need to verify your identity, but once it's done, you have 24/7 access to your information. This is especially important if you ever need to report changes in your circumstances, like a change of address, or if you go back to work, because you can handle a lot of that online without waiting on hold for hours, trying to reach someone on the phone. Let me address one more thing that I know is on a lot of people's minds, especially after the holidays when expenses pile up. If you're struggling to make ends meet, even with your Social Security, SSI, or SSDI, there are additional programs that might be able to help you. Many states have programs that help with heating costs, prescription drugs, food assistance, and property tax relief for seniors. These programs have different names in different states, but they exist and they're designed to help people exactly like you. SNAP benefits, which used to be called food stamps, can provide additional grocery money, and the income limits are more generous than many people realize. The Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program can help with heating and cooling bills. Medicare Extra Help can reduce your prescription drug costs. I mention all this because your Social Security payment this Friday is your foundation, but it doesn't have to be the only help available to you. You paid into this system, you deserve these benefits, and you shouldn't feel ashamed about accessing programs designed to help you live with dignity. As we wrap up today, I want you to remember a few key points. First, if your birthday is between the 21st and the TRTY 1st of any month, and you're receiving Social Security Retirement, or SSDI, your payment is coming this Friday, December 27th, right on schedule. Second, that payment should reflect the new COLA increase, but remember to account for any Medicare premium increases or other deductions. Third, if you're receiving SSI, you already got your January payment early because of the holiday. And finally, if you don't see your deposit when you expect it, don't panic immediately. Sometimes banks process deposits at different times during the day. Give it until the end of the business day on Friday, and if you still haven't received your payment by Saturday morning, that's when you should contact your bank first to make sure there's not an issue on their end, and then reach out to Social Security if needed. You've earned these benefits through a lifetime of hard work, and you deserve to receive them on time and in full. I hope this information has given you peace of mind heading into the weekend, and I'll be here to keep you updated on everything affecting your benefits. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next update.